Chwanelo M. If you happen to be new here, welcome to my channel. My channel is all about education and entertainment. Education in the form of how-to, so anything that I did or anything that I learned, I shared on my channel with you guys. Entertainment in the form of vlogs and features as well. If you happen to have not subscribed yet, please do hit that subscribe button and like this video to be part of my beautiful family. I'm going to give you 8 tips that can help you write an excellent Afrikaans essay, a very good Afrikaans essay. I did Afrikaans back in high school. I did Afrikaans first additional language, and I was quite good with the subject. So I thought, why not give you guys some tips that worked for me when I was writing my paper 3s. I would like to put it out there that I'm not a teacher, I'm not an Afrikaans teacher, and neither am I an expert. I am just sharing tips that worked for me back in high school, and I think they would definitely work for you too. So please do keep watching. Alright, so the way that I have outlined this video is that I'm going to give you tips in the first half of the video, and the second half or the last part of the video, I'm just going to give you an example, a very simple and quick example to actually elaborate what I'm saying or what I'm explaining in the first part of the video. So please bear with me, and I hope you have your note and your pen with you. Tip number 1, avoid picking topics that you're not familiar with. Avoid picking topics that you don't know anything of, because you're going to run out of words. You're definitely going to run out of words. So I would definitely recommend that you choose a beskrivende essay, a beskrivende opstel, of verhalende opstel. A verhalende opstel is a narrative essay, and a beskrivende opstel is a descriptive essay. Tip number 2, stick to one tense. If you're going to use past tense, stick to past tense, which is verlede tijd, I think, yeah. And then if you're going to use present tense, use present tense, which is teenwoordige tijd, to avoid confusion, because you're definitely going to confuse the marker and yourself as well. So in order to avoid all that confusion, just stick to one tense. And tip number 3, do proper planning, guys. It's very important for you to plan your essay properly, and by doing that, you're gonna need a mind map. Avoid writing out the full essay in your mind map, because you're going to lose points. I think you do gain points for planning, so avoid writing out the full essay in the mind map. All that your mind map should consist of is what, who, when, where, and how, I think. So once you just answer those questions, just write a few points under each bubble, you are good to go. This will also help you to not overlap the word count, so you'll stick to the word count, okay? Okay, and tip number 4, get at least 5 most exclusive English words and translate them to Afrikaans. But before you do that, just make sure that you understand the words properly and you would know how to use them in a sentence. Because we avoid having mediocre essays. Our markers do not want that. You want to have an excellent essay. You want to have a great, beautiful essay, an immaculate essay. So just get 5 exclusive, 5 just high value English words that you can use in your Afrikaans essays, because many a times we just use simple words that anyone understands, and our markers don't really like that. They want to see how creative you can be. They want to see how comprehensive you can be. So just get 5 English words and translate them to Afrikaans. But before you do that, make sure that you understand the words and you know how you would use them in a sentence. For example, maybe instead of saying a mens's dom, you would say a mens's onwissel, ne? Or rather, an English word like realistic, you could use it in an Afrikaans essay as realisties. It's very rare for someone to just use that word, but because you've used it and you've used it properly, you might gain yourself some extra points. Another word would be maybe cautious or careful, which means versigtig. So just use some of those words, because just, you know, throw in some of those words in there just to impress the marker and also to just outline your essay beautifully. Okay, tip number 5, your introduction is very important. Your intro should be very short and straight to the point. Your intro is what introduces a person into the story. It is what introduces the main characters, the main event, and just keep it nice and short. It doesn't have to be long, but make sure that it gets straight to the point. It introduces the main idea of the essay, okay? Moving on to tip number 6, ensure that each and every single new paragraph introduces a new idea. You cannot introduce a new idea in the previous paragraph and let it overlap to the next paragraph. For example, if you say, "My pa hou daarvan om vir ons lekker kos te koop," né? And then in the next sentence, or in the next paragraph, you then continue to say, "My pa hou ook daarvan om vir my lekkers te koop." You could have just said that or put that together in the previous paragraph. So make sure that each and every single new paragraph introduces a new idea. If you're going to talk about your dad in the previous paragraph, then in the next paragraph, maybe talk about your sister or talk about the next event that took place, right? In that way, you are aligning your story properly. Tip number 7, have a very, very strong conclusion. So what I mean is, your conclusion should just tie up all the loose ends, like everything that's everywhere. Your conclusion should just take all of that and just refer back to the main idea or back to the main event. So for example, if your topic is my best dream, my best dream, in your conclusion, you would probably mention something like, "And that was the best droom wat ek ooit gehad het, and that was the best dream that I'd ever had." You know, you now like making sense out of everything. After explaining everything or how everything transpired, your conclusion should now just tie up everything, and then that will be your full essay. And last but not least, tip number 8, follow STOMPI. Follow STOMPI, guys. It's very important. If you're doing Afrikaans, you most probably know STOMPI. STOMPI is an Afrikaans rule that we use to construct proper Afrikaans sentences, right? So it will be very important for you to use this rule. So when you say it, you don't necessarily mention the V1, which is verb number 1, but it's actually STOMPI, and that's how you write it out. So the subject, the S stands for subject, V stands for verb number 1, T, time, O, object, M, manner, P, place, and I, infinite verb, because most African sentences, especially the ones with voegwoorde, like your because and, they consist of more than one verb, right? So it'll be very important for you to use this concept. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give a very compound African sentence, which consists of voegwoorde, né? Die meisie het elke dag haar huiswerk netjies gedoen in haar kamer om goeie punte te kry. That's a very compound Afrikaans sentence, right? So I'm going to put it here on the screen for you to see. So basically, die meisie would be your subject. Het would be your verb number 1, because in Afrikaans, when you say het, it's a verb. So het would be your verb number 1. Elke dag would be your time. Huiswerk would be your object. Netjies would be the manner in which she does her homework. Place would be in haar kamer. And your infinite verb will be omte. In Afrikaans, immediately when you hear omte, it's an infinite verb. Om goeie punte te kry. So your te kry would be your infinite verb, right? So that is how we use STOMPI, for example, to construct proper Afrikaans sentences. Thank you so much if you made it to the first half of this video. So the last part of this video, I'm just going to give you an example of a very quick and easy essay, a verhalende essay that you can write in order for you to get like great points. Okay, so I've written it out, and I think I'm just going to say it because you don't necessarily have to write this down. It's just a quick example. So the topic is die beste dag van my lewe, né? That's a verhalende essay. That's a verhalende opstel. You could also make a beskrivende opstel out of this. Actually, it goes both ways. So when you do your planning, your mind map, in the middle you'll have die beste dag van my lewe, because that is your topic, right? And then now you'll have your bubbles, the V. So the V would be my gesin. Your gesin is your immediate family, right? Another bubble would have var, which is Kaapstad, maybe Cape Town. I'm just making examples. Var would be your Cape Town, and then your hoekom or your waarom would be vakansie. Why are we at Cape Town? For a vakansie. Wanneer, verlede jaar. I don't think you really have to be specific about the dates, but you can if you want to. But the wanneer would be verlede jaar. And then your wat could be die dag my pa vir ons elk 'n kar gekoop het, nee. So the topic is die beste dag van my lewe, né? But in that, you also have a highlight because you're creating what a verhalende opstel. You're creating a narrative essay. So you're creating a narrative essay. So you have to come up with ideas. Of course, you're not just gonna write this. You can just write a few more points under each bullet point, under each main bullet point. Sorry. Okay, from there, when you're done with your mind map, you will write your eerste poging. Your eerste poging is your draft, your first draft. Make sure that after writing your first draft, please make sure to draw a line over your first draft, because if you do not do that, the marker might assume that that's your final draft, and then they might give you points on that. So make sure that you just draw a line over your first draft. So already, once you have written your first draft, you already know the tense that you're going to use in your essay. So for example, in this one, we're just going to use past tense. Then your introduction would be something like, dit was die eerste Sondag van die jaar en ek het saam met my ouers Kaapstad toe gery vir 'n kort vakansie. Right? So already, in that introduction, I've already told you what to expect. I've already mentioned the main idea or the main event that's happening. So what's happening is we're traveling with my family to where? Cape Town. Your first or your second paragraph rather could be, because remember, what did I say? In each paragraph you have to introduce a new idea. So in your second paragraph, you could be like, die eerste dag in Kaapstad was baie lekker, and then you can explain, you can give some few more points under the paragraph explaining why it was such a beautiful day in Cape Town. Of course, you'll write a few more other paragraphs, and then your conclusion, this is where I want to get to. Your conclusion, which is your slot, you will then tie up all the loose ends and refer back to the main idea. So in your conclusion, you'd probably be like, that was iets wat ek nooit verwag het nie, something that I never expected. That was die beste dag van my lewe. So what are you doing? You're referring back to the main idea, which is the best day of my life, die beste dag van my lewe. So I was just trying to make a very quick example for you to understand actually what I was talking about when I was talking about the introduction, the conclusion, and also introducing a main idea into another paragraph. So I really hope the information that I shared today was beneficial for you, and that you're going to use it, and that it will help you along the long run. You can use this video whether you matric, pre-matric, FET, GET. This information applies to everyone who is doing Afrikaans and would like to write an excellent Afrikaans essay. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. See you guys in my next video. Until then.